you write down all the stages, and then costs. What is the cost involved? Okay, say for example, the overall grinding stage can be in terms of can be some 40,000, including the machine, like whatever it is. Okay, or even it can be the milling can be some 50,000. Okay, the stage two can again. Sometimes what happens, mill two can be higher than mill one also, like because of some additional features and those things. Okay, so accordingly you have to calculate what is the correct amount, like, and you try to identify all these things and what is the stage one cost, and like because if it is product, it is very easy. The pump cost itself will be very less, but if it is process, each and everything you have to add. Okay, and now afterwards, what you have to do is you have to go for a verb and noun combination, like what is the function of the pump? Okay, it convert energy. No, pump. What is that? Pump the motor. It means it's not going to motor convert energy. What is the function of a pump? A pump is used for pumping the water or fuel from one place to another place. Okay, basically it transfers fluid or liquid transfer, like transfer material. Or material, like transfer, like depending upon application you have to put sometimes liquid or fluid or water, means it can be water. Okay, it depends upon the application. So transfer liquid. Okay, so like this you have to, it's a measurable, liquid is a measurable, convert energy is also a measurable now. Okay, and grinding. So what is the purpose of the grinding? So you can tell from your side. So you have grinding stage, right? In your plant. What is outcome? What is the function of this grinding mill or grinding machine? What do you have? The grinding equipment. What do you have in your plant? So the raw material, when it goes into the grinding stage, what will be the outcome? What is the function of that? You can tell with one verb and one noun combination.
Reduction of size. Grinding, we can say reduction of size.
Yeah, the size, it is going to reduce the size also, or it is going to minimize the size or record size, whatever the size, right?
The size will be reduced.
Yeah, which means yeah, you are right. So which means maintain shape, right? Can Okay, one second. So what can be the function? Not energy. Yeah.
Basically, it is to reduce
Grinding.
Yeah, size of the raw material fed into the mill.
Okay, so which means size, shape, everything. So can it be to maintain shape, to maintain whatever the required shape? It can be the function, right? Maintain is a verb and the shape is a measurable noun. The shape can be a measured, right? Are you agreeing with this?
No,
it is not required.
Maintain shape is not correct word.
Okay, what can be the correct word?
Reduced size.
Okay, so here very important thing. Yeah. Okay, size you are telling, right?
Yes.
Size I agree. Okay, size is having some measurable noun. Can instead of reduce, no, you put maintain. Okay, I will tell you why I am telling not to reduce or increase. See, sometimes what happens? Yeah, of course, you are going to reduce. I agree, but say for example, if what can be what is the input? What can be the input size? Like say for what can be the dimension of the input? Like what is the input diameter? Means what can be the size of the input? Can you tell in some values?
So the input size maximum will be 10 mm.
Okay.
10 millimeter.
And what would be the size when you do it afterwards? Means after grinding, what can be the size? What will be the size?
You can take in microns.
Yeah, what will be the value?
40 microns.
Good. So now this is what.
For output, there is the different equipment is also there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Grinding media. If you will take the grinding media, here if you will take a lot of things there.
Yeah. Okay. So I was telling you, you says you are going to reduce the size. Yes, I agree. Okay, you are going to reduce the size, and see, reducing size is nothing but what? See, I can reduce the size from 10 mm to 9.5, 9, 8.5, 8. Even that is also reduced size. Okay. Even 40 micron is also reduction in size. But active, like active means what why I am telling as maintain size means, see, whatever it is required, 40 micron is a maintain. It should maintain like so. Yes, I agree with your term. What is really reduced, but when you put the correct means a kind of maintain, you try to avoid increase or decrease or reduce or so those things you try to avoid. So you can put as maintain size. See, when we are going for idea generation, what happens? I will tell you the very good importance of this. When you put the maintain size, I can maintain the size of the input by 10 mm. I can as per the specification. Okay, so I can maintain the 40 micron. I can maintain the 40 micron size, not only by using the grinding or whatever it is, grinding, yeah, or not only by using the grinding machine. I can also generate some new ideas, new techniques, or new methods such a way. What can be the replacement for a grinding machine? Yes, it becomes kind of more of a research kind of thing, but again, it will help you to increase your creativity, to find out some of the new ideas, new ways, in such a way how you can maintain the size, such a way the 40 migrants can be maintained, or 40 migrants can be maintained at the same time. The cost instead of 50,000 can be 40,000. You need to find out some of the alternative methods. Okay, these alternative methods can come from brainstorming, benchmark, or analyzing the technology. Okay, and then based on some of the exposure that you have, maybe you would have visited some of the your competitor kind of thing. So maybe even some of you would have come from your competitor to Jamipal. So even based on the experience, also it can come. The ideas can come based on the experience as well, and even you can also involve some of the subject matter expert who is very key, who are working already in this, and even you can have some consultant who are enjoying their retired life can also be a part of this, because they will dedicate the time for more idea generation, because they would have already worked here. Okay, even that also can be, because they will also share their experience and they will give some ideas such a way. But here, what is important is this is very important. I can maintain say
Actually, for maintaining, there is a different equipment that is called classifier. Actually, classifier is that equipment which is maintaining the size.
okay,
It is a
okay,
function of classifier, not the mill. The classifier is a part of the mill.
okay. So for
Yes,
classifier you can use maintain size, and for
yes, yes,
grinding you can use
yes.
yeah, grinding you can use, and this is going to reduce size. Okay, but yeah, but the very important thing is what is the outcome? The outcome should be to maintain size, right? This is this is the outcome, right? See, there is two difference actually here. One first difference I will tell you. Yes, of course, I agree. We're going to reduce it. See, what I will tell. If I'm going, I can also reduce my size even with 60 micron also. Okay, but see, you have given correct. This is a correct accurate value you have to maintain. And it's a quality issue, right? Otherwise, hello, hello.
Yeah, process is such that if we will increase the speed of the classifier,
Mhm.
presently if it is running 1500, if we will run it the 3000 RPM or more than RPM,
Mhm.
only that particle size will come out 10 microns or 15 microns or 20 microns. So that depends upon the classifier speed.
Mhm. Yeah, understood. Yeah, yeah. If that is based on the classifier speed, what is the current speed you are having to maintain this 40 micron? Means to maintain the value. Hope I'm not confusing, or am I going very fastly? Such a way, if in case any if you do not understand, please let me know. Like and then no, what my question is, you are telling the RPM, the speed at which this classifier will be operating, right? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yeah, I'm not understanding this. I'm not understanding. My question to you is, you have grinding state, grinding which will reduce the size, and classifier is the one which will maintain the size, right?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
there's one thing I want to clarify. See, when I said grinding mill, it is the mill that we are reducing the size and all. But I think Sanjeev sir, आपने classifier मतलब आप जो
Yes, yes, otherwise we can do one thing. We will do one thing. Let us not go in a generic example. We will take your example itself. Okay. Maybe remaining exercise you can do it when means after this training. So what we will do is I will share this to you by after completing the by after 4 I will send you this. And now you tell me what is the first stage. Let us not go in generic thing like let's go with like at least one step one thing we can complete it today. Okay, next we will go with the remaining thing. Okay, yeah, so what I will do, let us I will open one more thing. What is the process that we are going to take today? Let us maybe Mr. Sanjeev team, your team can take it first because yesterday I've seen it. Means yesterday we have reviewed and we have done some study. So what we can do is we will take your project, okay, and in which we will take the first one. You said that totally you have five thing, right? Five process something you said, right? Hello.
Sir, so he's asking to Mr. Sanjeev or David, sir?
Mr. Sanjeev, yeah.
Okay. I have to show yesterday.
No, yesterday we have discussed no that about your bentonite.
Yes. So we have to show that diagram.
No. What I will do once, just a second. What we will do, like what is the name of the project you said for what is the, you said totally 5 plant are there, right? Five plant are there, right? Plant 1, plant 2, plant 3, plant 4, plant 5. So first we will take plant 1, okay? Plant 1 process we will take and we will do the functions, first diagram. Function analysis, we will do it for first one. Can we do it in that way?
Yeah, okay. That is the called, we will say not plant 1, 2. That is the bentonite grinding plant, BGP, bentonite grinding plant.
Okay, BGP plant 1,
Yes,
okay?
bentonite
So,
grinding plant. Power reduction.
okay, BGP power reduction
Oh,
1
power
we will
reduction,
put.
yes.
Okay, power reduction 1 we will put, okay?
Yes.
So like this, you do it for 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So first we will do this exercise. Okay. And similarly, the Mr. Sudhakar David, you for your team, you also follow the same procedure how you are following now. Okay. And this becomes easy for you to understand the functions. Then you can create ideas. Okay.
okay.
Okay. So now you tell me what is the process in that first? What is the first process? Hello.
Yeah, reduction of size from minus 15 mm to 45 microns.
What is, maybe we can put the feature cost, what is features, okay. So here I will put insert, what I will do is I will the features, what you have to analyze the features. Features means what are the things going to happen in that particular process or particular stage. So what is the first stage? What is the first, okay, what is the first stage is this one. What is the first stage? What is the first process?
Material transportation.
Okay, so one second, just a second. Okay, so transportation of the material, okay, transportation now. Transportation. So what is the cost involved for that? You need to find out. Okay, you try to find out the value. Okay, to be confirmed. You need to confirm this value first. Then what is the features? On see, suppose if you say 1,000 rupees, on what basis you are telling this is going to be 1,000 rupees? Okay, the transportation. So the feature here is going to be the raw material transfer from place to another place. Basically, the transportation is one of the feature. Okay, and then what can be the other features? Maybe sometimes you need to transport it with conveyor. Through conveyor you have to transport, right? That again you have to. But I guess you mentioned separately conveyor here. Conveyor can be the second one, and what is the cost involved for this conveyor? And on what basis? Because it is again going to transport the material, okay, based on transportation. Okay, so and so this feature is very important because why this feature I'm telling. This will help you to reconfirm that the cost and this features is meeting this process or not. Okay. So what is the okay? You tell me. Let us go step by step. What is function of the transportation material? Means
Material
the verb.
shifting.
Can you
Material
repeat?
shifting.
Okay,
Material
so
shifting.
what I will do, verb. So verb should be transport material. Okay, that material is a verb and noun. Okay, so you do it like this. Okay, so active verb and passive noun. Okay, and what is okay? What is again? Next stage is going to be conveyor, right?
Yes.
Okay, again conveyor also transport material, right?
Yes.
There are some additional function of the conveyor, but let us write only the very key important thing alone here. Okay, okay. What is the next stage?
No, but initial transportation, if we have discussed, there is a total 3 stages there. First, from mines to inside Tata Steel through the railway. Second is through the unloading station to the Jamipol covered storage shed through the heavy vehicles. Our cost start from the JCB operation.
So which means transportation of material, right?
Before conveyor, there is the JCB operation.
Yeah, that is something about transportation material, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I was telling. Yeah. So you can mention like this, okay? So your cost is going to start from here. So you need to find out what is the cost involved for this JCB operation for transporting the material from the railway station or whatever you call from that particular location to your plant, and you can tell what is the cost involved. Okay.
Sir, one point, sir, JCB can be treated as handling of material from actually transportation may not be. Sanjeev ji, क्या बोल सकते हैं? Sanjeev sir. Handling of it.
Yeah.
Yes, right. JCB is part of operation. Cover storage shed is internally moving and feeding to the conveyor.
Yeah, handling.
Yeah.
Okay. So first you have to handle the material, then you have to transport the material or transfer the material. So it's instead of transport, it's going to transfer, right? It's going to transfer the material.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
And then what is the next next process? What is the next process?
That is not important. We will take the storing of the material, which is the hopper, which we have shown that 30-ton hopper.
Okay. Okay. Well, after conveyor, where
Storing.
it goes to the grinding. What is
Mill,
the
feeding to the mill.
mill operation? No? Milling stage. No?
Feeding to mill.
Okay. Feed to mill. Okay, which is nothing but milling operation, right? Milling stage, milling operation.
Yeah.
So you confirm what is the cost involved for this, okay? And the machine cost or complete setup, whatever you want to have. And again, so why you need to feed them? It means it's a kind of input, okay? So you are transferring the material again. You're going to feed it to the, which means again you are going to transfer the material from like the feed to the milling one. It is nothing, not only. Just a second. Somebody is waiting. 1 second. Just somebody is waiting here.
I think storing, if you will also retain, that will be more better. Serially, we will maintain all the series.
Yeah, 1 second.
Storing of material, although it is not part of the value engineering, but we will see there is the option is there. Storing of material will say the hopper.
Storing of material. Material, okay.
Storing in a hopper, there is a 30-ton hopper before the feed to the mill. There is a hopper which is storing the material.
Hopper.
Before the feed to mill.
Yeah. Okay. It is again material storage. Okay.
It will be complete sequence. There is no any gap. So we will put it here.
No, hopper is the input material. No, material it's input, right? It's going not a material storage, right? It's going to be a Is it going to be a stored material or input? Like it is going to be input, right? I mean, some okay. So okay. So here, what you have to do is maybe I will put here inside. Hope this okay.
अभी ज्वाइन करो बोलो तेरा प्लांट का हो रहा है अच्छा
Okay, store material and feeding to mill. What can be the function? What is the function? What is the feature here? What is the feature here? What is the features involved here?
Feature means raw material input or like that.
feeding to mill.
The feed material. Okay, it's going to feed the material,
Yes,
right?
feeding to mill.
Okay, feed material, verb no, feed material. Okay, so again, it is going to be material storage. It's going to transfer the material. It's again going to feed the material. Yeah, it's going to feed the material. Okay, that is the feature here. Okay, what's the
Yes.
next step? After feeding the material, what is
Then
operation?
coming to the next is the grinding. Feed to mill, then grinding.
Okay, what is the cost node for this you have to confirm? And now you tell me. You tell me what is the feature here? What is the what?
A little bit we want to stop here regarding the cost. We will take the operation cost. There is two type of operation and maintenance. So we will combine together or separately. We will go ahead. How we will move ahead for the cost part? There
Yeah.
is some operation cost. There is some maintenance cost.
Yeah, so here it is up now. Now you need to decide. You need to. That's why the information is very important. Okay, so you have told you are going to do the energy consumption reduction and utility power consumption reduction kind of thing.
Yes, power saving. Yes.
Okay. So if that is the case, if that is the case, what I suggest is you find out the where the power consumption is going to happen, whether the power consumption is going to happen here or utility is going to happen here. Now you need to find out, again you have to short list. See, that's why the information that is very important. The more time you spend on information, you get more ideas how you can look for idea generation. Okay, that's why I'm giving you like 1 week time. Again, I'm going to give one more week time. You collect maximum information as much as possible. Go deep dive to the information phase so that you don't worry about ideas or don't worry about the project itself now. So that's why first you have to go to the deeper level to understand the checklist whatever I have sent. Okay. I said it's not mandatory for some other thing, but again, the more you try to take risk or try to spend more time for the information, the more output you will get. Okay, that's why I'm not even rushing. Also, I'm not even rushing. Not even rushing. Even that's what I told you. You try to get the collect. You need to take the cost whatever is required from you. If this is not required, you don't need to collect the cost. That's why the information is nothing but what the goal, objective, or scope. What is the scope of your project? You have mentioned as 25% or 20%. That is not the end scope actually. Okay. See how you can tell that I want to reduce the cost by 20%, 25%. Yes, I agree. Based on experience, you can tell, or based on the potential that you can tell, and even the top management can do that. But again, unless you do not understand, like say suppose here, if you are not going to consider completely, if you are going to consider only one particular area or domain or one particular aspects alone, then what happens is that the overall 20 or 25% what you are telling, it may not be means you cannot completely achieve that. Maybe you can achieve 5%. Okay, that's why I request not to decide the percentage of cost savings at the initial stage. Okay, even if it is given by top management, yes, you cannot say no to the top management. Yes, you try to take, but you try to analyze in this way. Okay, and when you are presenting to the top management, you can tell that we have analyzed in all the possible directions. Such a way, the 25% is not meeting the thing. Uh, the probable savings is coming as only 10% maximum. You can tell what way it's coming, and but yes, there is a huge potential for the future project. Such a way, we can look for the maximum implementation considering the new products or a new process kind of thing. So you need to give some justification to the top management also. Like it's not that like because yeah, the target will be always stringent by the top management, but again you need to also give some justification why that particular target cannot be met, and how you can give justification based on analyzing the each and every features, each and every functions, and then each and every stages. You have to go step by step. Okay, collecting all the information, then functions, then go for idea generation. Then again, when you're going for idea generation, what you have to do is you have to collect ideas. What are the ways you can handle material? Is it only through JCB? Okay. Uh, can we use the instead of the JCB kind of thing? Can we go for some dumpers, doses, yeah, hydraulic excavator, different to make different thing where such a way that you are going to give this money to on hourly basis, right? Is it going to be hourly basis? And how you can reduce the hour cost, like per hour of cost? What are the different ways you can reduce the I mean, so, per hour cost? Okay, so in that way also you can look into it. Okay, but here our objective is not to reduce the cost of this operation, or our aim is not to reduce the cost of conveyor or grinding. So, but our objective is to reduce the overall power consumption. Okay, if that is the objective, or if that is the one what you want to go, then what you have to do is then you have to collect the information only with respect to the power consumption area, the utility energy consumption area. Those things alone you need to concentrate, not on the complete process. Okay, so when you take into the complete process, then again it may not meet your specific your goal actually. First very important thing is the scope of the project you need to select, or what is the area you are going to do. So here the area is going to be power and energy utilities. So it is not with respect to the operations. So if it is not related to operations, then it's not required to consider all the things. Okay. See now again, we will shortlist only to the power consumption alone. Okay, we will consider only the power consumption alone. Okay, power consumption alone.
Yes,
So
yes.
with respect to the power consumption, now you tell me what are the stages it will come. Okay, what are the stages it will come? For those alone, you try to collect information. What should the checklist, whatever I said, what is the functions and those things. Okay, and then with that we can see how we can look for idea generation. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it understood, or like am I confusing?
Yes, sir. Partly, what I understood from the discussion is you have to focus only on those areas which are relevant to your project or your goal that you want to achieve, objective or goal.
Yeah.
There may be a list of items, but you have to focus on those areas where which can help you to achieve your target.
Yeah. What you said is exactly right. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Good.
So the
Okay.
template you will share na, afterwards.
Yeah. Today maybe by late evening you will send. Okay.
Okay.
Then you will be like then afterwards we can maybe you can take time. Okay. And but before that, you try to collect all the information, whatever I said. Okay, information
Yes.
phases. Okay. And now I will just give you some thing where just I will give you some examples. So I don't want to I don't want to make it too much complicated. So I want to make this more of practical kind of thing.
Yeah.
Today is day two. Day two training. So this is second phase called function phase, which we'll be seeing it now today. See, what is the basic function? I think we have covered this, right, last week.
Yes.
We have covered, no? So what when you're identifying any function, what the key question you have to do is what does it do? Okay, what does the stage one do? What does it do? Okay, that is very important. And also you should ask the question what else must do? What must it? What this you need to answer a question like this. Key question you have to answer. Okay, and here you need to also ensure that what is the outcome of that? What is a particular process need? What's a particular process want? Okay, and it should make that particular process to work, and it should also sell. Like here you are not going to sell it process based process, but you are going to move it. Okay, so finally you are going to sell this to the customer.
So I think we went up to the problem statement explanation, that slide you were showing, that Excel Gordon technique you showed us, no? So I think that's where we stopped last time.
Oh, that one, okay. No. That is again. Let us not go into it deeper now, because first we will go to that is the third stage. Okay, now we not even in second stage now. Okay, and again first stage is information, second is information. First is information, second is a function, third is a creativity ideas, where we can create ideas using that. Okay, let us go that. Let us see that in the next week. Okay, because still I don't want to rush actually. If I rush now, what happens? The more we spend on information and function, the more we get on ideas. Means creativities. Okay, just I want to give an overview. That's why I started in last week.
Yes.
I don't want to put that now, because yes, I can do it now also, but let us go very slowly. But again, when I say very slowly, it doesn't mean that we are flow. We should be fast on the project actually. So here, this function is very much important. So here, you have to understand what function is the customer. What is the your immediate customer is going to get the function from you. What they want and what they need actually. If in case some of the functions is not required or not appreciated, even if you feel that if they do not want to have 40 micron size, if suppose they want to have some different size, even that can also be looked into it. Okay, depending upon the requirement, what are not being appreciated, you only give them. What cost effectiveness you are going to give to achieve a particular function, that is very much important. Okay, so these things these are the facts about the functions. Okay, so that these things you have to consider this for your analysis. Now this is very much important. How you can improve the value to any project or process or product. So here for you to process, so you have to reduce the risk for the given project. Okay, and you can also improve the schedule or delivery of the project. Say for example, you can reduce the cycle time, or you can also do the project something in well advance before it's delivered, and that is something about the yearly production of the particular product or process. Even you can do some improvement with respect to the HSC point of view. Here you are going to do mostly on this operations cost reduction and maintenance cost reduction. So when you are successful here, you can reduce the overall reduce the manufacturing cost, then you can reduce the overall cost also. So this is where you are going to concentrate. I hope so for both the projects. So operations, to supply chain management, and even with respect to the power consumption reduction. This is where your concentration should be more. And it can be so when you do the cost reduction here, your overall value can be improved. And even look, you can also look for some of the procurement methods. Okay, some of the procurement methods. Something, suppose you are getting the machines or some raw material from one source, from one supplier. How you can also improve the method of purchase. Okay, and you can also evaluate some of the market condition, and accordingly you can also create the values. Okay. So these are the different ways where you can also improve the value, and accordingly you have to take the call. So now, what is the process is very important. So you have to understand the process. You have to understand what service you are going to give to your immediate customer, and what service you are getting from your supplier. Okay, so that's why the supply chain company comes into picture from start of the raw material to the finished good, not only within your company but also within the company of your supplier and also the company of your customer. Okay, you will have your supplier. See, the input to you is the output for them, but what when you analyze the process of them individually, process of your customer individually, then you will get some thought process that can help you to increase the value, which will also help you to reduce the cost for you, not only for you, but also for your supplier and also for your customer, which means the complete supply chain. The supply chain should start from the tier 2 companies, to tier 1 and tier 1 to your company, and your company to your end user. So it should come in that way, and you should know what will be the cost and what should it cost. So I will tell you what is the difference between the cost and good cost and good cost. We are discussing about this, right? So assume that the cost is going to be 10,000 rupees. Okay, this is see here the function is what? 100 material. So I can say the cost here, the function cost. Okay, so this is function. To achieve this function, my cost is going to be 10,000 rupees. So the function cost nothing but 10,000, and there is one more term called function worth. To achieve this function of handling material, I'm going to spend this much cost, which is nothing but 10,000, which is nothing but function cost. To achieve the function called handling material, what is the least minimum cost such a way I can handle material? What is the least minimum cost to achieve the function is nothing but worth. And here the function worth is nothing but the least minimum cost to achieve the function handle material. So to achieve the handle function material, what is the least minimum cost? So this is nothing but the good cost. This is nothing but should cost. Okay, this is nothing but the current cost. Okay, this is the current cost for you. Okay, and what should it cost? Okay, this is nothing but what should this can be lesser. Okay, maybe 8,000. Okay, what is the gap cost minus worth? Okay, that is nothing but your savings. So savings you are going to get as 2,000. Okay, and accordingly you can have the overall savings for an annual basis. Okay, and accordingly you can also do the savings accordingly, and you can also come up with your business case, business proposal in such a way you are going to have the annual savings of so and so INR or dollar, and even to achieve so and so savings, you also need to spend some money, right? So, say for example, if I'm using some alternate operating methods of JCB, okay. See again, JCB, this operation is already been proven. If I want to come with some new kind of the process, again the initial investment may take some time. Okay, it may take some time, and also cost will also be here sometimes. But again, after some time, maybe 6 months or 1 year, okay, you will start getting the profit. You start, so it's kind of business. Suppose if you start any business, what happens is you need to invest money for resource, right? For suppose if you are starting any company, your own company. So for example, if you are starting your own company, let us take a very simple example of a cycle manufacturing company. Suppose if you start a cycle manufacturing company, what happens is you need to invest money for recruiting the people, setting up the infrastructure for your company, building and factory setup cost. Okay, so all these costs you need to put for manufacturing the cycle, and in each and every stage you have the different activities involved, and finally the output what you're going to get is an out cycle, which will be used depending upon the requirements. And now here question to you here is uh, how you can reduce the overall process setup cost or the manufacturing cost. For example, the stage one, the cycle, how it is getting assembled. Stage two, how it is getting assembled, and what are the features getting added to it. And when it comes to stage two, three, four, five, up to the last stage, and after last stage, what you do, it is going to get shipped to the customer, and again you have to see the different perspectives, different methodologies you need to look into it, different thought process you need to look into it. How you can also bring down the cost to the greater level such a way it will meet the function. Okay, so here when I say the function, here is to handle material. So if I'm using see, it's not required to have only JCB. JCB is nothing but what, and I can also go with different make. There are different manufacturer, different equipments which is being supplied, which will do handling material similar to JCB. Okay, even you can go with a lot other competitor of JCB like L&T Commerce. You have even that can be one of the alternative. Okay, and even you can go with some of the other manufacturer. Even you have Bharat Movers, or even you have Tata Hitachi. Okay, but again, what is their operating cost? Okay, if that is the case, say for example, here it is going to be 10,000, and if operating cost is going to be 8,000, yes, of course, you can use Tata Hitachi instead of JCB. And the function, what is the function? Same function. Okay, you are going to achieve the same function. This 8,000 is the least minimum cost. That's what 8,000, and you are going to spend 2,000 rupees. Okay, so you can save 2,000 rupees. But to bring the Tata Hitachi here instead of JCB, sometimes what happens, the initial investment may be higher. Okay, the initial investment, what I can say, it can be of anything. Okay, suppose because you cannot already you JCB operation is already in 2-on-1, and if you are changing it from X to Y, you cannot give 100% immediately to Tata Hitachi, and you will observe it. Okay, so initially you do 20%, then 30%, then 60%. Then once you get complete confidence, then you look at a different way. Okay, a different manufacturer or different vendor for you.
We thought about the Bobcat battery operated. If you will do the operation through the Bobcat battery operated, the drastically cost will be reduced.
Yeah, so like this you need to look into the new ideas. Exactly, this is now you are told. Okay, so what is the name you said?
Bobcat.
Spelling?
B-O-B. B-O-B-C-A-R-T. B.
I'm just giving you. I'm sharing.
Bombay.
1 second. What I will do, I will give you the
Bombay. B-O-B.
B for Bombay. B-O-B.
Yes.
B-O-B.
Yes.
B-O-B.
C-A-R-T. C-A-R-T. Bobcat.
Okay.
Battery operated. Drastically.
Okay. So again, so this is an idea. Okay, this is an idea, right? And this idea will also perform this function, right? So here, that's what, when you're going for idea generation, you need to use.
Sir, I have a point, sir. Actually, we are working for this power consumption, right? If you'll go through that way, then actually this JCB is handling the raw material, which is being fed to mill. So effectively, how effectively it is handling, that way if you'll go, then it depends upon the operator and all. So how effectively it is feeding, whether system is running in idle. So then if system is not going up, if it is not, if our, for example, our the mill is of some X TPH, but for example 10 TPH. So if we are feeding to 8 TPH, that we are not able to feed it properly. So that way ऐसा संजीव साहब ऐसा हो सकता है क्या, मतलब थिंकिंग प्रोसेस जिसमें पावर कंजम्पशन के तरफ जाएंगे. सो ये तो अभी डायरेक्ट कॉस्ट, अगर हम लोग हिटाची वगैरह के जगह बॉबकॉट लगाएंगे तो ऐसा चेंज होगा, मतलब अल्टीमेट कॉस्ट. बट इफ यू हैव टू रिड्यूस द पावर कंजम्पशन, हाउ टू फीड द मिल टू द रिक्वायर्ड टीपीएच, टू द रेटेड टीपीएच, ये डायरेक्शन में बात करने से कैसा रहेगा? मैं जस्ट थिंकिंग, आई एम जस्ट थिंकिंग लाइक.
Exactly, yes, good. See, I will add you one more thing also into this. So here
Absolutely correct. वो हम लोगों ने कल बात किया था. Basically we are doing the value engineering. So ये थोड़ा सा हम लोग का जिसमें काफी ज्यादा कॉस्ट पड़ता है, थोड़ा लिंक से हम लोग हट जा रहे हैं. बट यहाँ क्या लर्निंग है ना प्रोसेस हम लोग का. तो व्हाट इज द फंक्शन, व्हाट इज द इंफॉर्मेशन, हाउ विल गो टू अल्टरनेट. तो दिस इज द एग्जांपल ऑफ द training session, learning session for the example of the JCB for the bob cut. Nothing else. Finally, what we will do the power and nitrogen only.
Exactly.
Reduction
Yes.
of
Yeah.
But this is the learning phase. In learning phase, what are the else we are using it. So main
Exactly.
purpose इसको ऐसे हम लोग लिया value engineering का learning के purpose.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
See, now what I also suggest is, yeah, you are telling Bobcat, yeah. So see, now you need to look at the function and also the main objective. So here the function is to handle material with lower consumption, with lower power consumption. Oh, that is your end objective, right? How you can handle the material with lower consumption, lower power consumption. So whether this Bobcat will be a good in that way. And even in conveyor, can you have different type of conveyor, okay? So can you go with the best conveyor such a way to transfer the material with lower consumption, with lesser cost, okay, and with lesser operating costs? So in that way, you have to go deep dive. Okay, that is how the idea will come into picture. Okay, that the idea will lead you to trigger to a kind of the invention is nothing but the ideas what is coming, and innovation is nothing but you are going to implement the ideas into your function, into a workable one. Like once you implement it, it becomes innovation. And that innovation will help you to achieve the technology or to whatever the next ladder in a kind of towards the many aspects. Even you can look for a lot of you can create a lot of wonders if you go step by step like this by analyzing the functions. Even you can create your own patent rights for this. That type of ideas also may come. Okay, you may not, but all this will come not only by this function, but also through experience and through the exposure what you have with respect to the particular field. So it all matters actually. But again, the function is the base. Okay, the function is the heart. See, we have information phase, we have creativity phase, we have evaluation phase, we have development phase, we have presentation phase, implementation phase, audit phase. Of all these phases, the heart of value engineering is a function. Okay, so that's why the function is very much important. Even that's what even the father of value engineering, Mr. L.D. Miles, he himself considered that the heart of any value engineering project is identifying the function, analysis of functions, and also resources. See, I also told you about the definition of a value, which is defined as a ratio between function by resource or function by cost. So the function is 50% of the value engineering is through functions, and remaining 50% is through the cost. Okay, it doesn't mean that 50% means currently you have to give only 50% for function, 50% for cost. You can take in different aspects, but always you can ensure that the function is not going to get affected. Okay, when you affect the function, see here when the function of handled material getting affected. Okay, even though if you reduce the cost, even if I'm bringing the cost from 10,000 to 8,000, but if it is not meeting the function, okay, then what happens? Performance will not happen. Okay, the quality is going to get reduced. Your performance will not happen, which means there is going to be the delay the process or anything. Okay, which means finally you are even though if you're reducing the cost, your function is not going to get met, which means the performance will not happen properly. Which means overall value is nothing but a ratio between function by cost. Even though if you reduce the cost, if your function is not going to get met, then the overall value what you're going to get is completely going to get affected. So that is how you need to look into different aspects, and you have to bring those things, those ideas as well, towards the features, towards the functions, so that the performance is not going to get affected. At the same time, the cost is going to get reduced. Okay, so when you are explaining to your top management, okay, suppose when we are going for idea generation, let us go to the next phase called idea generation phase. Now, even you can propose some of the ideas which can be even higher cost than the JCP. Say even the function, even it can be, say for example, even 11,000 also. Okay, but again you are not going to get saving, yes. Okay, but what happens is, if in 1 hour time, if it is transporting the material, say for example 1000 ton if it is transporting the material from X to Y location. Okay, and the same the new operation what you're going to propose, it can it can transfer, or it can handle material 1200 ton. Okay, in 1 hour it can handle 1200 ton. Even though the cost is on the higher side. Okay, even though the cost is on the higher side, what happens is you are going to increase the capacity, which means you can think in a different way. Even you can increase the cost from 10,000 to 11,000, but yes, I agree. This is not the least cost to achieve the function. It is not going to be a work. Okay, which means here there is no savings, but this is the savings. What I'm telling is for 1 hour cost. Means this is for 1 hour, but output what you are going to get is what output you are going to get is 1210, not 1010. Okay, not the 1010. Okay, and if that is the case, you can calculate what is the savings per day if you have 50,000 ton as requirement. Okay, then accordingly you need to have say for example 2 JCB you can have to carry out this 48,000 or 50,000 ton of capacity, and if it is 1,200, then again same you need to have again you need to have at least 2, but the number of hours can be reduced there, and that cost whatever this is the cost what I'm telling that can be compromised, and you need to do the analysis accordingly. It's not that the cost of the initial cost alone you need to consider. See what the 10,000 or 11,000 I'm telling is the initial cost. It's not the final cost. What is the final cost is? The final cost is nothing but, say for example, it can be a month or it can be a day. What is the cost involved for a day? What's the cost involved for a month? What's the cost involved for a year? Okay, so what is the cost involved for a year for a JCB? What is the cost involved for a Tata Hitachi? What is the cost involved for a year for a Bobcat? In those aspects also you need to look into it. Okay, so it's not that immediately you jump from one to other and you do discuss. Okay, so again it needs to be a kind of the value, only the value in terms of numbers it will speak. Okay, it's not that see even I can go with, you have different type of conveyor. You have belt conveyor, you have the conveyor with having the rollers in it, right? The rollers. Okay, which is the least one. Okay, both will transfer the material. Okay, even the roller I can use, or even use a belt system, which is least cost and which is more efficient and which is very fast. Okay, even the cycle time. When I say cycle time, what is the time required to transfer the material from X to Y using the normal roller and using the belt conveyor, or the roller with having the what is the material of the roller? Like you will have a roller, right? Like it having the bearing in it. It can be the you have different rollers also. The steel grade, I think it should be a steel grade material. And even we also have an aluminum roller, but what we use in normal kind of even the airport kind of thing, like where our baggage is the rolling, no, that small conveyor. Even you have different ways to transfer the material. Whether those things is capable of carrying that particular load of whatever your material, whether it can see it is like both load versus speed. At what speed it is going to travel. Okay, and against that, and again, even the life of the conveyor is also very much important. What is the durability? What is the life? Okay, how many hours it is going to be there? That everything you need to consider when you are going for the selection. See, what I'm telling is with respect to your process stage by stage I'm telling, but here this is not your objective. Your objective is only to do the power consumption reduction or energy efficiency. So if that is the case, then you concentrate on try to take the functions, analyze the functions with respect to power consumption area or process alone, and then try to fit those ideas, those functions into your ideas. Okay, so this is the difference between cost, should cost, and current. So current cost and worth. Current cost is nothing but the function cost, and the worth is nothing but the should cost. Okay, so I'm just if in case I'm deviating too much, let me know, because the more example I give, sometimes I deviate from the topic. Yeah. How else? What are the ways you can perform the function? Analyze the competitor. How the competitor is doing. What is their cost? But again, it is very bit difficult to get postings. But again, still you can get based on some sources. And what is the advantage? What is the disadvantage? What is the risk involved? What is the advantage of going the X2Y from JCB to Hitachi or Bobcat? And what is the disadvantage? What is the risk involved? Okay, so say same conveyor. If I'm going with a normal conveyor, what if you're going to modified conveyor? So what is the risk involved? So all these things analyze. Okay. Okay. So now this I want to go. Okay. Let us go to this one. Say motor, what the function is to convert energy. One verb and one noun. Transverse torque is a transmission pump. It generates pressure. So you should have one verb and one noun. So these are the active verb method noun which will have the work functions and cell functions. You can use this active verb method noun for your exercise. I will share you this PPT as well. But give me some time because today I'm occupied up to 8 o'clock. Maybe late evening I will send. Okay, so tomorrow you can look into it in a fresh mode. You can do it.
Yeah.
So you have to use this measurable noun active verb. Now this is no, I don't want to go now here. I will just give you some of the examples. Then you can. Okay, assume that let us go to the simple generic example. I don't want to analyze the content. Yeah, so this is what very important. Some definitions you need to understand. You know about the value. Value is nothing but the lowest cost which is required to achieve the function or service at a needed time and place with essential quality. This is very much important definition of a value. See, I told you about worth. Worth is again going to be dynamic. It is going to be based on various factors and it's also based on the customer perception and also it is based on the function which is going to give to achieve a particular cost. And worth is nothing but the least cost, least overall cost, or lowest overall cost to perform a function without any regard to criteria or anything. Okay. Simple example I will tell you. If you take any FMCG goods, okay, the cost of the FMCG goods will vary from place to place also. Okay, suppose you're from Jamshedpur, okay, the cost may be different. Okay, and the cost in Chennai may be different. The cost in Mumbai can be different. Okay, um, um, it can be any. The cost can vary from place to place. Okay, but what is the worth states that FMCG goods what I'm going to get should have the least minimum cost irrespective of any criteria or code. So criteria here is so the product can be from Chennai. I can get it from Chennai or get it from Jharkhand or get it from Jamshedpur, which the place what you call you are living Jharkhand, right? Jamshedpur, or if it is from Mumbai. So here, irrespective of these three locations, the FMCG goods should have the same the least minimum cost. Okay, but again, but the cost is also going to vary from place to place in India and even in abroad also. When you look at the international thing, even their labor cost is going to be much more higher than our labor cost. Accordingly, the overall product cost is going to be higher for them. Okay, and so that is it's not. So now, when you look at the worth or when you look at the things, you are not going to consider those aspects into thing one, but you are going to consider the one the least cost to achieve the function. Okay, but again, there should be some justification with respect to the worth also. See, say for example, the Apple laptop may be costing 1.5 lakhs, whereas the cost of a normal HP or Dell can be 40,000. Okay, so it doesn't mean that the worth of the Apple laptop should be 40,000. It is not in that way, but there are different features added to the Apple laptop. You need when we are considering the worth, you need to be more educated or you need to be more knowledgeable. On what basis the 1,50,000 has come? Okay, on what basis HP and Dell laptop is telling 40,000? Similarly, when I say 10,000 for your JCP operation, you should also understand some you should have you should have deep knowledge about the particular cost involved in the particular stages. So even if you do not have a proper knowledge or proper understanding of the cost, you try to interact with the the concerned person who is doing the costing for that particular thing, or who is well aware of the costing details. Okay, try to get a very accurate or close to the accurate value, so that will help you to evaluate for increasing the value to the particular process. Okay, so this is very much important. And there is the one more term called value index. So the ratio between function cost by function worth is nothing but the value index. So higher the value index, when the value index is greater than 1. So here we have considered 10,000 and the worth is 8,000. So here the value index is greater than 1. Okay, when the value index is greater than 1, there is always a potential for you to increase the value. Okay, so now let us go to the function phase. So this is very much important. So when you have higher value gap, which is nothing but a cost minus worth, and when you have higher value index, which is defined as the ratio between existing cost to the of existing worth, then you have some ideas how you can look at the value improvement. See, this slide, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to give it may be looking funny, but it is going to be funny kind of thing. Sometimes there will not be any logic also what I'm going to do, but I want you to look at the functions, okay, not at ideas. Okay, means first let us look into the function alone. Okay, so say for example, ballpoint pen. What is the pen function? Is to make mark object. What is the function of a window? We have a window in our car, in our home, in a cine hall, or in auditorium. We have a window. The basic function is to ventilate room, right? And what is the function of automobile? Transport people. What is the function of a lighter? You have it will generate flame. So these are the functions. And to achieve this function, you are going to spend money, right? That is nothing but function cost. Okay. Now I am going for alternative idea or alternative proposal. I told you the least minimum cost to achieve the function is nothing but worth. Okay. So how I can achieve this function called mark objective? Instead of pen, I can also go with chalk. But if where I'm going to write is very important. If I'm going to write in a normal paper, I cannot use chalk. Okay. If I'm going to write in a board, I can use chalk. Okay, even that's why I told this may not be irrelevant. It may not be relevant, but even sometimes you may blame me why this example is coming. But why I'm giving this is, the chalk cost is going to be only this much. Okay, but what is my function here? Function here is mark object. Okay, even the chalk are also mark object, but even this basic function will vary from place. Like say for example, whether I'm going to mark object in the paper or in the board, that is very important. Okay. So if it is in board, even it is you can go with chalk with lesser cost. So what is the worth? Worth is nothing but the least minimum cost to achieve a function. So it is going to be $0.04, not $2. So this worth is very less. And what is the value gap? Value gap is nothing but cost minus worth. So 2 minus 0, that is nothing but the value gap. And value index is nothing but function cost by function worth. So 2 by 0.004, which is nothing but 50. Okay. So I told you, higher the value index, you always look for some alternative. And let us take one more funny example. Transport people. How I can transport people using the cars? We have many ways to transport people. Okay, even what you are telling JCB. Okay, it is also transporting material. Okay, it is. Suppose if you spend this much money, why can't you use this wagon or buggy? Okay, this will also transport material. Okay, it will also transport material. But again, you have the condition, right? You have the condition because you are going to be 50,000 ton, whatever. Yes, of course, it cannot meet the time, but again, it is meeting the function. Okay, that's why you have different functions, not only the basic functions, but you also have the secondary functions. What must it do? What must the automobile do? What must the pen do? Okay, what else must you do? That is where all this the time everything comes into picture. So now what we have done here is in our exercise is what does it do? Only we have done. Okay. So here, whatever done, it's only one thing. There are, apart from this, it also do some other additional work. Okay, so say for example, the conveyor, transfer material, and it also like the speed it will maintain. Okay, it will also have, so those things also a function. Okay, that also need to consider. So that's why you need to consider the primary basic function, but also you also need to consider the secondary functions when you are analyzing this exercise function cost. And the very important thing is, we use a lighter to generate flame. It can this lighter be replaced with match where the cost is going to be lesser. Okay, but again, you cannot use the match every time, no. But lighter is very easy. But again, convenience also, the cost is going to get increased with respect to convenience also. So all this you need to look into it. See why I'm giving this example is these are the different alternative. Alternative is nothing but the work. Work is nothing but the least minimum cost to achieve a function. So identify the function, then where it is being used, and accordingly you create ideas. Okay, so these are the multidisciplinary team. So you already formed a team. Okay, to create a teams with different members. Okay, and you try to understand what is the voice of what your customer wants. That is very important. Okay, and you should have the specific expertise also is required. Yeah, I know every in your team members are very experienced, and you should always acknowledge the need for improvement. You should always acknowledge it. Like you should have the positive enthusiastic attitude. And you should always open to the new ideas. You should always have some questioning thing. You need to challenge everything. Okay, you need to challenge everything, and you have to open for new ideas. You have to recognize the better way to get it done. So you have to recognize it in a very different way, and you have to promote the ideas of others also. You have to accept the ideas of others. That is very important. Okay, and this is the guideline that you need to follow. You have to get respect, and you have to respect the peers and also the management, vice versa as well. These are now we are not going to concentrate on the poor value. Okay. Um, okay. So what I was telling is, when you do the value engineering or value methodology, when is the best time to implement? So when the best time to implement is start of the project, okay, during the concept stage. Okay, and now you know Jam polish in this stage. Okay, continuous improvement you are doing. Now what you are doing is continuous improvement where the savings can be very lesser. But again, when you do it in the very start, then this can be very good. But whatever the thing you are going to do it now, it can be a learning thing, and you can do it same. You can implement it for a future project. So nothing wrong. Even if you look at the list savings, also very good. This is not a correct figure. This is just an example point of view. Just taken some of the graph and then showing it to you. Okay, and there is always you have a savings even from the start, and even for a continuous improvement also you can do it. Maybe you can reduce the overall cost. See, these are the ways that you can do the function analysis. First is
Sir, I have a question. When you say potential, maybe today with low cost of investment, I can be able to achieve between 1 to 6%. Okay, so if I take a goal to first go to 6% as an initial stage, and then later on with that savings, after that savings are established, with much more modification and lot more investments, I can go to 30%.
exactly yes, yes.
Is that also
Yeah, yes,
the
yes. That's what
process?
you call. That's what you see. Now you may be you may be getting this percentage additional saving just now after you implement so and so thing. But when you go for it again, going to the next level, like when you go for repetition, then again it is going to be higher.
Okay.
When I say repetition, it can be like same maybe next year or next to next year. It is again just to give an example, just to give a glimpse I have given this graph. It doesn't mean that this rule will be applicable all the time or every time. So it is like depending upon the strategy. It holds good. Like it also depends on the process or product, say, and again it also depends on the volume or capacity also. How much your because accordingly the volume is going to be higher or output is going to be higher, the savings is going to be higher.
Yes.
Okay. Even if you save this much, if the volume is going to be higher, then the overall can be much more higher. Okay, so it all depends on the volume as well, the output as well, the productivity, everything comes into the picture when we are analyzing the savings.
Right. Thanks, sir.
Yeah. And these are the ways that we can do the function analysis, like how we are done. We have a checklist for information. First, we will be understanding the random function. So that is what we have done now. And then we are going to give the function calls and function worksheet we are going to complete. And we are also going to complete the function cost, like what is the cost involved for each and every functions. And then you can also understand some of the Pareto. Okay, Pareto means what? 80%. See, you may have many functions. So I will give one more example of this. Let us see the functions tomorrow also. Okay, then you can do exercise. You take 1 week time. Next week you complete these functions along with the information. Then we can go for the ideas. Okay, so yeah. So here what I was telling, yeah. So now assume that the cost of this is going to be 10,000 and the cost is going to be 7,000 here for transferring material, and storing material it will be 12,000 rupees. Storing will be lesser, no? That will be 3,000, and feeding the material will be 1,000 rupees. Okay. Now, out of 4 function, which function is high cost? Okay, high cost is handle material is high cost, and next thing is 7,000. Next highest is 3,000. See, like this, you may have for a complete product, you may have 20 functions. Okay, you may have 20 functions. Okay, and you will get all the cost details. And what you can do is, you don't need to take all the 20 functions. Okay, so you take high cost function. Okay, you know the Pareto, no? Pareto rule states that 20-80%. So you take 20% out of function. Okay, you just take only 20% out of function, and which will contribute to 80% out of cost. Okay, so here what is the cost? Overall cost is 21,000. Out of 21,000, the first 2% means first 2 is still costing 17,000. Okay, so 17 by 21. Okay, what is the? Let us go to the calculator. See, tomorrow's session definitely you will understand more, but now just you may not understand too much, but again you try to follow the instruction. See, 17,000 is sorry. Let us go to the overall thing. It comes 21,000. Okay. Suppose I am analyzing only the first 2 function, 71,000 by 21,000. I am going to analyze exactly 80% of the cost. Okay, so 80% of the 81% of the cost is belonging to this. Okay, so instead of I concentrating on all the 4 functions and generate ideas, what I can do is I can just concentrate on the high cost function alone. Okay, so those things alone I can concentrate, and I can see how I can reduce the function cost. Okay, what are the ways I can generate ideas? What are the ways I can look for meeting the function without affecting the function, and how I can create ideas? So those things we have to look into it. So you have to use the Pareto. That also we can that can be one of the things. And the next important thing is a fast diagram called function analysis systematic technique diagram. Okay, this also I will explain it to you tomorrow. We have to use the logic, how logic, why logic, when logic. Those things we are going to see tomorrow. And then this is what we have seen now, the value index. Okay. These are the things that will be part of function analysis. And the next one is going to be a resource matrix.